How's it going? How's it going? It's Tuesday, January the 30th. Was it what? A couple more days left? Actually, one more day left of this wonderful month. I guess have to say that this winter is turning out quite wonderful. Only one freeze, serious freeze, which is great. Now I did have a little vlog, little crappy vlog style, but we're going to be talking about something else today. We're going to be talking about the House could impeach a cabinet member for the second time ever. House Republicans are preparing for the first impeachment of cabinet secretary since 1876. This time targeting Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. As here, the House Republicans are moving forward with plans to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas with a committee vote set for Tuesday morning, with Speaker Mike Johnson promising a full vote in the House soon after. So if the House does impeach Mayorkas, requiring just a majority vote, the issue could head to the Senate to begin a trial. It would only be the second impeachment ever of a cabinet secretary in the first since 1876. While it's been 148 years since the last successful impeachment of a cabinet member, there's been several failed attempts in that time. Opening an impeachment investigation to a cabinet member of the opposing party have become especially common in the past 2 decades. Now, there's some arguments made against the impeachment. Some say this is policy driven and therefore impeachment shouldn't be the answer to policy disagreements. But there's also the other element. We have laws on the books, and if the secretary isn't fulfilling those laws or pursuing those laws, then that's also something that needs to be brought up. Now, my personal opinion is, I know this is political theater. I know that it has no chance to survive the Senate, but I don't think it's a waste of time. I think we need to put the Democrats on notice. We need to get their votes be heard, whether or not they agree that this is a policy decision and not an impeachment, because this is going to be either used for them or against them when it comes to the election. I think we need a list of names of people who vote to not impeach and those who voted to impeach, and we can make an informed decision based off of that. Let's hear on March 2nd. Is this a history? I think this is the history. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm here for it. On March 2nd, 1876, Rep. Hester Clymer, Democrat, PA, rose to speak on the House floor. So it's Slimer, who chaired the Committee of Expenditures in the War Department, said that his panel has uncovered official corruptions and crimes such has no parallel in their own history, so far as I know, or any other country. The man at fault, said Clymer, was William Belknap, who was a war secretary in President Ulysses S. Grant administration. This was the Gilded Age, and Belknap was known for extravagant Washington parties. Extravagant Washington parties, which raised questions, seen as he was on the government salary. The source of Belknap wealth was kickback scheme orchestrated by his first wife, which he helped the business Clab Marsh get into employment on Trading Post in Oklahoma. The man in that job, John Evans, struck a deal with Marsh Evans that would keep his lucrative job, but he provided a $12,000 annually in payments, split evenly between Marsh and Belknap's. Clymer Committee had Marsh on the record explaining the situation after he entered the evidence into record. Clymer moved for the vote for impeachment, but there was a catch. Just hours earlier, Belknap has raced to the White House and begged Grant to accept his resignation, which the president did. On a floor debate on whether the House could impeach official who resigned, the House ended up doing just that by voting unanimous to impeach Belknap. The disgraced secretary reads the New York Times headline. Following day, the Senate trial began in April, which featured testimony from 40 witnesses, while the majority of the senators voted against Belknap on 5 articles. The Senate did not reach 2/3 of the threshold necessary for the conviction of any of them. See, there was a handful of unsuccessful attempts to impeach cabinet secretaries in the first half of the 20th century, including in 1922, when the resolution to impeach Attorney General Harry M. Daugherty was referred to the Judiciary Committee. Daugherty was accused of failing to prosecute people involved in the Teapot Dome scandal and for conducting himself in a manner of arbitrary oppression, unjust, and illegal. The committee examined the charges but said that the evidence obtained does not appear that there was any ground to impeach Daugherty. Another attempt to impeach cabinet secretary came in 1932 when Rep. Wright Patman D. from Texas moved to impeach the Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon for retaining his ownership of shipping vessels while he was in public office. While pressuring Mellon ended up resigning and accepting a new appointment from President Herbert Hoover to be ambassador of Great Britain. The Judiciary Committee decided to discontinue the impeachment investigation. Franz Perkin, the Labor Secretary under President Franklin Roosevelt, faced impeachment in 1939 for failing, neglecting, and refusing to enforce immigration laws of the United States. By not deporting accused communist Harry Bridge, Perkins voluntarily testified at the Judiciary Committee and that the investigation was quietly ended. Rep. John Martin D. Colorado was frustrated that Perkins' innocence wasn't better publicized. He took to the House floor to complain that after months of nationwide publicization of unjust and unfounded charges against a public official, the final result is heralded by a non-blare of trumpets and scarcely brought to the notice to the public. So most recently, in the 21st century, several attorney generals have faced impeachment attempts that didn't gain traction. Alberto Gonzales, President George Bush, Attorney General, faced scrutiny for the mass firing of federal prosecutors. Rep. J. Inslee D. Watch introduced a resolution directing the Judiciary Committee to investigate whether there was significant grounds for impeachment. Gonzales resigned before any actions on the resolution was taken. And in 2013, a group of Republicans introduced impeachment of articles against Eric Holder, President Barack Obama's Attorney General, for failing to enforce the laws and refusing to comply with congressional subpoena. The resolution was referred to the Judiciary Committee but did not lead to any hearings. William Barr, President Donald Trump's Attorney General, also faced an unsuccessful impeachment. Most recently, Republicans have set their sights beyond just Mayorkas with threats to impeach the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin after he failed to inform the White House of his hospitalization, as well as Attorney General Merrick Garland. I mean, that's more of a history. Let's see here. Not what I wanted. Let's see here. Let's see here. Is there any updates to this? Let's see if there's any updates to this. Because I really didn't find any. Let's see here. No, not really. Nothing really there. See here, 2 days ago. Former Homeland Security to defend. Let's see, I think this is going to be. Let's see here. Impeachment will begin the process impeaching. The math behind the impeachment, politics around the border push. Let's see here. Lawmakers attempt. I mean, we'll go to Fox News. It's probably going to be paywalled. Nope. It's a video, so no. Don't care about the video. I don't think there really is one. Let's see here. Former Homeland Security Secretary of Defense Marcus Amos impeachment push. A former Secretary of Homeland Security has come out and styled in support of the current Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, who is soon to face a historic impeachment vote by House Republicans. In an interview with ABC News, live anchor blah, 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 characterized the impeachment probe against Mayorkas as a disagreement about policy. Chertoff, who ran the Department of Homeland Security from 2004 to 2009 under the then President George Bush, says there was a grim irony when the House Republicans attacked Mayorkas for his handling the southern border when the secretary has actively been advocating for higher congressional funding to confront the issue. Sometimes conservatives say must be accompanied with sweeping immigration changes. At the same time, you won't give Secretary Mayorkas tools to increase his ability to control the border. They're complaining, therefore, he should be impeached. And that's really, that really is the most by the definition of comedy. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, don't get me wrong. Let's hear published an op-ed on Sunday, which he urged against impeachment. I can say with confidence that for all the investigating that the House Committee on Homeland Security has done, they have failed to put forth evidence that meet the bar for an impeachable offense. He wrote, the Committee of Homeland Security pushed to impeach Mayorkas while claiming he failed to enforce the law of the U.S.-Mexican border, alleging that he has called false, adhered scrupulous, fervently to the oath of office. I've taken it 6 times in my public service career. Mayorkas wrote to the letter in committee published on Tuesday ahead of the hearing, reviewing the 2 new impeachment articles against him. Here's anything more to this. Let's see here. This Wall Street defendant Mayorkas characterizing the committee's accusation as unsupported argument and calling the House Republicans to drop the impeachment charade. He also called Congress had inadequately supported and redefined existing immigration systems. Leading Republicans disagree with the view. House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green, a Tennessee Republican, opened Tuesday hearing by saying Mayorkas put his political preference above the law and then his actions have forced our hand because we cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood our border. Mayorkas is accused in the 2 impeachment articles for willfully and systematically refusing to comply with the law and a breach of public trust. Only one cabinet secretary has ever been impeached in the 1800s. I mean, it'd be interesting when they come back. I don't know if I think he should be impeached. So it goes to the Senate. I mean, just because it's a policy, but if the policy is not to enforce the current laws of the books, and there's no willfulness to enforce the laws that are on the books while asking for more money to process people at the border isn't protecting the border. That's processing people at the border. Protecting the border is to prevent them from coming over. Now, I do know that Biden has made an agreement with Mexico that we don't know what the agreement is, but Mexico is stepping up to the plate. And maybe This is their way to get the information. What did Biden agree to? I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on with this other than they're voting on it. I don't think they voted on it exactly yet, so we'll know more tomorrow. But with that being said, leave a comment down below on what your thoughts on this is. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.